Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
Daniel Bosley is absent. James Coffey.
Here.
And I myself, Catherine, is present.
I myself is present.
Resolution 62, accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of January 16th be accepted and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Is there anyone seeking to provide public comment this evening? I would like to acknowledge County Legislator Paul Moy for being here tonight. Thanks for being in attendance. Resolution 63, the abstract.
Resolved that abstract of audited claims number 2B-2025 for 2024 in the amount of $93,348.05 and number 2B for 2025 in the amount of $270,261.02. Abstract 2B-2025 prepays for 2025 in the amount of $501,556.87 be received as reviewed by the Audit Committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstracts.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 64, the continuation of a lease agreement with the automated sports field line striping machine.
Whereas Michael Drew, Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, has requested the town continue its lease agreement with Turf Tank for an automated sports field line striping machine, and whereas the lease term will be for 1 year at a cost of $10,996, which includes 180 gallons of striping paint, therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the continuation of the lease agreement with Turf Tank, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Buildings and Grounds Superintendent and the Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 65, temporary seasonal hire for Building and Grounds Department, Ryder S.
Whereas the supervisor has received a letter from Michael Drew, Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, requesting to hire a seasonal worker, and whereas Ryder Estes, 19 an hour, will be appointed to said position when all employment verification and eligibility provisions have been satisfied, with a start date of May 27th of 2025, for 14 weeks ending on August 29th of 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire seasonal and temporary help in the Buildings and Grounds Department, and a certified copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager, the Clinton County Civil Service Department of Personnel for their final approval, and a copy be placed in Mr. Estes' personal file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, Costick, any discussion?
Just mention that we are looking for a couple more to.
Any further conversation? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 66, request to purchase a 2025 Chevrolet work body truck with regular cab and V-plow for the Building and Grounds Department.
Whereas normal use requires that the town of Plattsburgh must periodically update vehicles, and whereas Mike Drew, Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, has complied with the New York State OGS procurement requirements for vehicle acquisition by the completion of the competitive mini bid process executed via the New York State Vehicle Marketplace, therefore be it resolved to receive a letter dated February 14th of 2025 from Mr. Drew requesting permission to purchase one 2025 3,500 HD Chevrolet work body truck with regular cab and V-plow in the amount of $66,771.29 for use by the town of Plattsburgh Buildings and Grounds Department pursuant to the New York State Office through the General Services Standards and Purchase Group contract. It is further resolved that the town board does hereby grant permission to Mr. Drew to order said truck from Deneuer Chevrolet, Albany, New York, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any related documents required for the purchase. It is further resolved that payment for said purchase will be made payable from the 2025 Equipment and Capital Outlay account as stated here, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, Town Clerk, and the Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion?
Does the clerk have the title down as a new 2025?
Yeah, the adjustment's been made.
That's been done, okay.
All those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 67, request to purchase a 2024
whereas normal use requires that the town of Plattsburgh must periodically update vehicles, and whereas Mike Drew, Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, has complied with the New York State OGS procurement requirements for vehicle acquisition by the completion of the competitive mini bid process executed via New York State Vehicle Marketplace, therefore be it resolved to receive a letter dated February 3rd of 2025 from Mr. Drew requesting permission to purchase one 2024 Chevrolet pickup truck with regular cab and V-plow in the amount of $53,412.26 for use by the town of Plattsburgh Buildings and Grounds Department pursuant to New York State Office through the General Services Standards and Purchase Group contract. It is further resolved that the town board does hereby grant permission to Mr. Drew to order said truck from Deneur Chevrolet in Albany, New York, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any related documents required for the purchase. It is further resolved that the payment for said purchase will be made payable from the 2025 equipment and capital outlay account as stated here, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Buildings and Grounds Department, the town clerk, and the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Ostick, any discussion? Seeing none. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 68, request to purchase a new 2024 Ford F-50 4x4 Super Cab for the Codes and Zoning Department.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Codes and Zoning Department is requesting to purchase a new vehicle for their department fleet, and whereas the Codes and Zoning Department has complied with the New York State OGS procurement requirements for acquisition by the completion of the competitive mini bid process executed via the New York State Vehicle Marketplace. Therefore be it resolved to accept the following bid to purchase one new 2024 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Cab in the amount of $51,889.90 pursuant to the New York State Office through the General Services Standards and Purchase Group contract. It is further resolved that the town board does hereby grant permission to purchase the above vehicle from Riley Ford in Plattsburgh, New York, and a copy of this resolution be given to the Codes and Zoning Department and the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Ostick, is there a second?
Second.
Spella, any discussion? Seeing none. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 69, request to purchase 3 overhead shop doors.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Buildings and Ground Department Superintendent Mike Drew has submitted a request to purchase 3 16x12 overhead shop doors, and whereas the 2 quotes were provided from both available commercial overhead door suppliers and contractors in our area. It is the recommendation of Mr. Drew to purchase the overhead shop doors from North Country Door Systems located in West Shazy, New York, and they're not totaling $18,574.46. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize Mr. Drew to order said overhead shop doors, and that payment for said purchase will be made payable from the 2025 Building Repairs and Service account as stated here. Be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Mr. Drew and to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ostick, any discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 70, request to attend the 2025 Town and Villages Justice Continuing Education Program Core A and Core B training.
Whereas it is important for the town of Plattsburgh justices to remain current and informed concerning changes in regulations, therefore be it resolved that Justice James Joyce be allowed to attend the 2025 Continuing Judicial Education Core A and Core B training program held in person at the 3rd Judicial District Administration Office, 2500 Pondview in Castleton-on-Hudson, New York, from March 18th through March 20th of 2025, and be it further resolved that $547.80 for travel, lodging, and meal expenses for Justice Joyce be charged to the county's budget account as stated here. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and a copy be placed in Justice Joyce personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Ostick, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 71, resolution in support of home rule request for room occupancy tax authorization. Senate number list 366, Assembly 3984.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh is committed to promoting fiscal responsibility, fostering economic growth, and maintaining a high quality of life for its residents. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh does not currently impose a property tax on property owners, yet seeks additional revenue sources to support necessary infrastructure projects and community development initiatives. And whereas the town board seeks to introduce a modest 5% room occupancy tax on hotel, motel, and vacation rental stays within the town limits. And whereas similar municipalities, including the town and village of Skaneateles, have successfully implemented room occupancy taxes, there is a precedent for local governments to introduce this revenue generating mechanism. And whereas the proposed room occupancy tax in the town of Plattsburgh could generate an estimated $1 million annually, contributing directly to essential infrastructure improvements and economic development initiatives in the town center. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh's proposed tax, when combined with the existing 3% tax levied by Clinton County, remains competitive and below rates charged by surrounding areas, ensuring the town remains attractive to visitors and tourists. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh understand that robust infrastructure is required for the health and safety, sustainability, and economic development of the municipality. And whereas the additional revenue generated through the room occupancy tax will not only support infrastructure projects, but will also help stimulate tourism, improve local amenities, increase housing supply, and promote long-term sustainable growth within the town as a mixed economy. And whereas it is in the best interest of the town of Plattsburgh to retain local and decision-making authority over the implementation and use of this tax revenue to meet the town's specific needs, whereas Senator Daniel G. Steck has provided the town of Plattsburgh with 8 certified copies of a home rule request for state legislation, Senate Bill number 366 and Assembly Bill number 3984, which grants the town of Plattsburgh the authority to implement a local room occupancy tax of 5%. And whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh now seeks to formally adopt this resolution in support of the home rule request and the corresponding state legislation, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby affirm its full support for the passage of Senate Bill number S366 and Assembly Bill number A3984, which will enable the town of Plattsburgh to implement this measure and begin accruing the necessary funds to advance its economic development and infrastructure goals, ensuring that the town remains a vibrant community in the North Country known as a great place to live, work, play, stay, and invest. And be it finally resolved that all certified copies of the home rule request forms for Senate Bill number S366 and Assembly Bill number A3984, along with 8 copies of this certified resolution, be given to Senator Daniel G. Steck's office, reaffirming the town of Plattsburgh's commitment to responsible fiscal management, planning, and sustainable community development.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second.
Osik. I just want to provide again a little background to this information. We previously affirmed our position on this. I've been working with both Assemblyman Jones and Senator Steck on this specific piece of legislation. There are more pieces to this, and in fact, when I get down for lobbying day, I think it's March 3rd, 4th, this will be one of those items that I will be meeting with some other individuals on beyond our sponsors. So very pleased that we have gotten to this round, but still some more work to do. And like I said, this will be really good for the town specifically. And just to clarify, individuals, this is not a property tax on individuals. This is an occupancy tax as it relates to the hotels. So.
It's just added to the 8% tax that they would pay normally.
It would be, it's related to the occupancy tax. So right now, the Clinton County occupancy tax is 3%. So it would be 3% plus our 5%. So, but we would only get the 5% though.
So somebody going to the hotel pays 8% total.
Yeah.
That's the only fees they pay.
That's the occupancy.
That's occupancy. I'm not talking about sales tax or, any state taxes or
And
anything
nobody
else.
thinks that this is gonna limit the number of people that come into the area.
No, this puts us in a, as I said before, Skinny Atlas is a smaller community, and it puts us in a similar position. Uniquely enough, they have a Republican legislator and a Democratic legislator that enters the bill. We have a Republican legislator and a Democratic state legislator. We have the same size. The story is almost, parallel for the impact. And I would dare say too, Tom, that the town of Plattsburgh has demonstrated our commitment to infrastructure, using our zero-based budget, our modified zero-based budgeting approach, et cetera, et cetera. So I really do think these funds will, help us continue to punch above our weight.
And aside from Skinny Atlas, most of the towns have this? Most of the towns have this?
Not all towns have hotels and hotels.
Right, but the ones that do are.
I don't know, honestly.
Tom, I don't think it's real unusual to see it. Very often you'll see multiple occupancy taxes. My familiarity with traveling and having the travel expense reports, very often there's 2 or 3 different
I would-
occupancy tax.
I would also go
It's not
so-
unusual.
I would also go so far as to say this, Tom, is the town of Plattsburgh is the one that has created and maintains critical infrastructure for economic growth and development in our town center and beyond. And the modest amount of money that we're getting this, it can be a relief off of the backs of residents and taxpayers in the town of Plattsburgh. This is a very responsible thing for us to
So
do.
it does not and have to be used specifically for advertising for more visitors and stuff. It can be used for infrastructure and for,
There are, again, the process for this is we have to get it through the state legislative body first, and then we will have to do a local law that codifies all the other elements to it. So there are still many steps before it, but right now, this is the request. And as we said before, we're identifying a focal point of infrastructure and economic growth and development. The town center with our smart growth plan allows for more homes, for example, so we want to find ways to increase opportunities for housing in the town center as well.
so we could purchase or build housing for people.
I'm not going to comment on where the funding is going, because we're nowhere at that stage right now, and it would be.
That would be decided then when we do our local law.
Yeah, because there may be different limitations under the bill that is passed. Like I said, this has to go through the legislative body. Just having it introduced doesn't codify itself.
Okay.
So more to come. At this point, I will ask for a roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Daniel Bosley is absent, and Michael Cashman.
Yes. Resolution 72, request to attend the New York Planning Federation Conference.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning and Community Development Department are required to maintain professional training and development, and whereas it is in the best interest of the town planning and community development department to update technical knowledge and new regulation information regarding comprehensive planning, complete streets, solar energy, subdivision, and site plan reviews. Now therefore be it resolved that Jessica Kogut and Michelle Buckminster be allowed to attend the New York Planning Federation Conference held on April 6th through the 8th of 2025 in Cooperstown, New York, and it is further resolved that $976 for lodging and meals and $480 for registration to be charged to the Planning and Community Development budget. Account number as stated here. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager at the Planning and Community Development Department head.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Villa, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 73, Cumberland 12 Cinema License Application.
Whereas to comply with the town of Plattsburgh codes and zoning laws, Cumberland 12 Cinemas has applied for a license to conduct and operate a cinema known as Cumberland 12 Cinemas, located in the town of Plattsburgh at 18 North Road Lane, Route 9. And whereas said application was applied for and received with license fee of $500. And whereas the codes department has completed their inspection and has found Cumberland 12 Cinemas to be in compliance with all local laws and New York State regulations and codes. Therefore be it resolved to receive and place on file an application for a license to conduct and operate Cumberland 12 Cinemas. It is further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue and said license for the period of January 1st of 2025 through December 31st of 2025.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, Wood, any discussion?
They applied in time.
Yes. Yeah, my understanding it was a back and forth between the codes department and them, but no, they got everything into me in a timely manner.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. I know of no need for an executive session this evening, so I would accept a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Villa, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn at 6:19 PM. Drive safe.